As I'm sure you're no doubt aware by now, you can vote in these movies or not vote them in. It was 61% yes to 39% no this time over on my Patreon. Your support is always very much needed. Check it out in the description. Oh, you know them showing us a unique and nicely detailed little map is going to get them a win. One of the reasons I'm always more than happy to cover a One Piece movie is absolutely because of the beautiful change in how they do the animation in such a high quality. Always adore that. Chopper continues to be, in his first movie, the absolute height of adorable. No one can ever change my damn mind. Also though, shout out to how everyone is in this one room just doing their own thing, and of course all of it is animated too. I love seeing them all hanging out like this together, I really do. The voice actress for Chopper also continues to be one of the best things to ever happen to this anime in my mind. How it's just these two acting like cowards to whatever just happened outside the boat. You know, the movies, the early ones anyway, aren't exactly loved, but I must admit, I personally just enjoyed the different stories alongside our crew. That's just me, I guess. The way that little intro was done with him yelling and then the title appearing, that's the best one of the three to date. Getting to see quite a fair bit of this island as the ship soars over it, having been pushed up by the volcano and its pressure, was a nice touch to show what the place is going to be like. That was just some flat out fantastic looking animation. This is exactly why the movies are awesome to me. You can't afford that kind of dedication and time to the weekly show naturally. It's pretty by the numbers for One Piece by now, but that doesn't mean I will stop appreciating how they're all, again, pretty much wearing different clothing to normal. They change so often. It's a small win, I'll grant you, but the continued dedication, not only within the main series, but also within the movies now, like here, to keep on showing scars like this one on Zoro in all scenes. Once again, Mihawk's voice actor out here doing entirely different work to that character. He did someone in the second movie as well. Talented guy, I must admit. With the series oftentimes being shouted out by me for having characters all looking totally different to one another, it's nice to see that during this movie the same can be said for the animals too. Impressively not walking on the spot at a distance and having the quality look damn good too. Doesn't matter how you slice it or even dice it for that matter. That was a nicely done setup right there. Oh, I felt that all over. Like legit. Ah, bless him, even his little trousers are dented back there. A whole heck of a lot of animation in this scene. Get in! I think another thing I find myself appreciating about the movies is that the characters are never just suddenly different to the main series, in spite of being written by a non-canon source. One of the many things I adore about Chopper is, like, how casual he can sound. Much like here, just being confused and asking questions, but he's freaking adorable doing it. Even when getting mad like this and saying his name, he's too damn cute for words. You know, other than the words I just wrote, I mean. それほどでも勇気もあってすごく強いんでしょ。バカ野郎！そんな褒められても全然嬉しくないよ。 Chopper totally struggling to maintain his composure when faced with so many genuine and lovely comments. What a great look at pretty much the main bulk of the island right here. Plus the colour palette and creativity when throwing it all together must be commended as well. Looks gorgeous. Luffy wildly interacting with all of the numerous different wild and wonderful looking animals in this kingdom, but it's the beautiful, bright and colourful visuals that really stand out to me the most. It's actually the very height of adorable that Usopp is saying that he's made these animal suits for them to fit in and now he wants to play. Damn bro, that's actually really sweet. Not running in a circle on the spot. That. Honestly, that to me was perfect. Perfect that he threw them in front of himself and got hit, naturally. And then perfect that she pointed that out. I found that so funny as a result. Might just be me, but personally I enjoy storytelling like this, seeing his father's old ship and what it looked like inside now, all washed up and dried, his keepsake of the man, the story. I do just like it. Just telling us this bit now makes so much more sense why he was devastated upon the death of the former king and had such a hard time letting him go. Likely the reason for the attachment to Chopper too. Not even gonna show it, but when an anime can make me feel legit anger, like these people taking their horns, that's well played. Panda from Jujutsu Kaisen and then Rico from JoJo's Stone Ocean. Nami straight up looking fantastic. Yes, Nami immediately knowing how to play the enemy is always an easy win to dish out. I don't know why, but Usopp deciding he had best join in with the flirting was a good course of action. Had me seriously cracking up. Whoever is playing that actually did an incredible job of it to my ears. I like how here he uses an actual cannon use of visibility. I'm pretty sure this is what he did when they almost crashed when entering the ground line, so that's pretty cool. I'm really happy that the prevailing opinion here is that what they're doing is pretty horrible. I personally thought it was nice to hear Luffy's thoughts on Chopper after a fairly short time of them being together. I'm sure Chopper would have loved to hear it too. I'm a broken record at this point, but I can't hear statements like that and not adore the work of the voice actress. I mean, it's insane. I haven't felt this way about a voice actor in a hell of a long time. Just like with Usopp, it's nice to see a moment where Chopper can cast aside his fear for a moment and be brave in a moment. Too many moments. Usopp lying, or at least making things up in his head here, and greatly impressing Luffy is another personal favourite of mine from the main anime too. Some awesome looking falling animation right there. You could just tell that it had a whole bunch of frames in it. How did Oda create something so adorable? Witchcraft?
チョッパー、こんなやつ知らねえか？体長1000メートルで角とか牙とかのクマとかライオンとかのクジラとかも。それがチョッパー。
This is getting 2 wins. Firstly, it's because it's literally what Luffy himself drew, and then he got confused as pointed out here by Nami. Secondly, it's because he describes the king he's looking for as having whales, and that just killed me.
うっせんだ、とっとと食えよ王子様。
体鍛えるだけが脳の筋肉バカに言われたがねえぜ。
何？
These two really are the same in many ways, other than just being cool guys, and this is what I meant before about keeping their conversations and personalities much the same as normal. It just fits.
でもいいけど肉ねえか肉。みんな逃げちゃったじゃないのよ。
In a big way, making this movie couldn't have been easy, because the bad guys are hurting them for their horns, but these guys would eat them for their meat. Hard to rectify that, but they skirt it nicely.
参ったな。お前もチョッパーが好きなんだな、モンブラン。モバンビーだ。
There's really something about getting his name somewhat close, but at the same time nowhere near, that makes this more funny than it should be.
あの方角は？
大変だ、パパの性質が。おい、どうしたんだ？なんだ。
That's some straight up gorgeous looking not running on the spot animation. Looks all Studio Ghibli-like.
その角には動物最強の力をもたらす神秘の力が秘められている。
Honestly, the detail they poured into the pages of this book impressed me so much I wanted to show it first and then talk over it. Normally, it'd be scribbles.
動物王のトニートニーチョッパーだ。
I just plain old liked how they did that. Between his statement and that slight zoom out shot, it was nice.
覚悟しろ。こいつに狙われたら最後二度と帰ってこれねえんだ。何よあれ、戻ってこないじゃないのよ。だから言ったろ、二度と帰ってこれねえんだ。あっちかい。
I love how in the movie, like in the main anime, he says things with such pride that he really shouldn't be bragging about, such as his boomerang that doesn't come back to him. 2 wins. Firstly, just look at that adorable little run. But secondly, it's because I like how it's tied into his past with the good doctor and his pride to protect Drum Island, and it's people under a flag that meant the world to him.
もしかしてチョッパーって本当は臆病なの？強いんじゃないの？
とにかく助けに行こうぜ。
Sanji and Zoro constantly being the source of reliability, hearing the situation without a second's doubt or hesitation, saying, right, let's go and rescue him. Absolute legends.
心配ならお前も行くか。今度はそんな怪我だけじゃ済まねえぜ。行かねえのか？
It's a small thing, but I love how Luffy doesn't just listen to the animals and leaves. He lets the boy make the final decision even after they've both given him advice not to go with him. A pretty awesome showcasing of all of the transformations that Chopper can do and how much it helps him in environments like this. I'd go as far as to say that One Piece has some of the best and most consistent damage effect animators from the early 2000s. I'm always left impressed by the work they churn out. I know they almost never don't do it in the mainline anime either, but these fresh attacks in the battle deserve a win, each one unique to the last. Sanji earning himself major cool points right there, I must admit.
サンジ、ザロ。
何かっこつけてんだあいつ。
And my boy Zoro leapt into action too, being awesome.
ゴムゴムの。
And now Luffy launching into action and earning his own coolness win, let's go!
カラスケもチョッパーを見捨てるの？ベル、おめえ島にいられなくなってもいいのか？
I thought it was good to see the lad actually standing up for Chopper and all the things they've asked him to do, risking his life for them, and how he was torn between that and staying on the island. Man, I really do love the movies for how clean and beautiful looking the battle animation ends up being. Like, it's so smooth! And then the same can be said with Zoro's battle next up, both of which our heroes are having a hard time with, which, I must admit, I hadn't expected to be the case, so take that win. So awesome how they do a distance shot like that and yet have it look so detailed. That's great too, being able to squeeze in a moment where, in spite of being really scared, he helps Chopper as he sees them struggling to keep up and then does this to get their attention. Being brave. Take a win for not destroying the animals. Obviously it's not their fault that they're being controlled by that guy, so that made me very happy. I find stuff like this physically painful because they're so close to getting away and yet this happens. Oh, thank God for Luffy! Forgot he was close by and he's made my stomach feel better. By the by, the views as a whole on this island are utterly stunning. It's literally the best looking island in the whole thing to me so far. I must say, this is a decent twist. He wasn't the strongest villain by any means, so now for him to get his hands on the horns and turn out like this, makes for a better end fight, I think.
俺はな、守らなきゃならねえ奴らがいる限り、命をかけて戦う男さ。
Easily the coolest thing Sanji has said this entire movie, because it elevates him above doing all this purely for Nami, but instead it's for all of them.
誰が弱いって
Never call Sanji a weakling, that's his first mistake.
さあ見せてもらおうか。世界最強とやろう。
The most badass moment for Zoro in the whole thing too, but it does make me wonder why he didn't just break free earlier if he could do so easily. Let me know if you know.
だな、強えぜ。お前なんかよりずっとな。何言ってやがる。
I've been winning this forever, but when Zoro gets out all his gear ready for battle, it doesn't half look awesome.
心だ。
So damn sick, look at that! That right there earns the movie its first and maybe only Max Wins award, baby. For me, it was just the gloriously smooth animation on the attack that did it for me. Thing of beauty it was.
世の中にはね、てめえなんかよりもっとすごい蹴りをする男がいるんだぜ。
That's legit the nicest thing he's ever said about Sanji. Already, this is the best battle of the first three movies, if only because the animation is stunning throughout. In fact, it looks so good for so long it's getting Max Wins. I just gotta.
ドクター、これ。
I really love how this picture from his past gives him strength.
ランブル、ジャンピングポイント。
Between Usopp and his goggles from Logtown and now this, it's good to me how often they use little bits from the main series to add to the movies.
この我が輩が海賊なんてくだらんもののわけがあるまい。救いようのないアホだ、お前は。
It's perhaps a little on the nose, but the lesson is easily felt. That he shouldn't have been judging Luffy and the crew just for being pirates, especially when pirates didn't take out his father, he did. Quite frankly, that's an awesome part of the movie, him screaming out in pain and then all of his animal friends are streaming in, having found their own courage to help him. That's pure lovely, that is. Oh, you already know from the main series, Luffy getting pissed only equals one thing, he's gonna kick ass!
思い知ったか我が輩こそがこの島の王なのだ。
They did the same thing in the second movie. It's a real movie thing that Luffy will push past his boundaries when in pain like here and keep on fighting. I like it personally. Mine sound like a strange win, but Luffy ending the battle like this rather than a normal big standard big old punch to the face. I like those too, a lot actually, but this was different, cracking the horns. That went from oh yeah to oh dear lord very fast. Hey, it's the best of both worlds. He still did the big old punch to the body to end it. I'm jumping the gun a little assuming they're making him king. I think that's worth a win. It's a nice feel-good ending to give it to him when he cares so much about them and fights for them.
ねえチョッパ、これからも一緒にいようよ。ねえ、僕たち仲間だろ。
It's sad how badly he wanted Chopper to stay, I can't lie.
島が王冠に包まれた時、天が新たなる動物王を授けてくれる。
That looks beautiful. Not much else to say. A fitting end with him being crowned as king as well. But look at that view. That this was the ending chosen for these two felt a bit weird if it ended badly, since he was saying, yes, I do hate pirates, now leave, then crying about it, clearly not meaning it, but then this was better. Too long to show Usopp's attempts to scare him by making up monsters just beforehand, but showing the growth on Chopper that he's now willing to face those threats. Take a final win here for the ED, closing down the movie with a soft recap of all the episodes to date pretty much. I liked the movie, very simple and good looking. On to part 17 next! Darth Weirdo, Mal Liao, Nick Wyndham, The Elemental Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Mini Masher, Marquez, Nazomi, Allkeeper, Otter A. Bodonisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Creer, Brian Bayot, Cameron, Christian Tuasa, Commander Chris, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Aaron Winters, Guru, I Am Here, James Tafoya, Yor Edvinson, Kevin Elston, Cumfoik, Kylie Webb, Lisa Marie Timp, Luis Minito, Magnus, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Sataka Yari, Zion 44, Sean, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Sumi Bito, A Joker, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante Soul, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Def the Kid 123, Devon, Dragon Defender, Esso, Garrett Vermish, Gibbs, Hoof to Lowe's Ritter, Israel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Juffa 6263, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevink 102, Knuckle Duster, Kai 158, Kyle Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gagati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Matthew Blansett, Michael Lewis, Modiverum, Monty, Mudini, Mr. Firecool, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, 9028, Ollie the Mighty, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Q Flash, Ryan DeVries, Sarcastic Truth, Snow, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Thrasher 340, Vernon Hogan, Will Sass, Willie Man,